Show Court 3, our final match we're bringing you today. Paul-Henri Mathieu, the Frenchman on screen. The 12th seed taking on Jimmy Wang of Chinese Taipei.
Second round of men's qualifying now, and we see on screen Paul-Henri Mathieu, a man who reached number 12 in the world, but has been rather injury plagued. Jimmy Wang from Chinese Taipei on this side of the court. Sean Manawira is in commentary with me for expert comments, and Sean, the lads get a chance now late in the afternoon after we've had 4 round 1 women's matches. And what are you expecting to see here?
Well, Paul-Henri Mathieu, he's been off the boil a little bit. I mean, a few injuries have plagued him. He's had a really bad knee injury that saw him in 2011 miss most of the season, and his ranking has taken a massive dive. But it's great to see him back on court, and I feel there's a little bit more experience. He's had a 4th round appearance here at the Australian Open back in 2006 and 2008. So I feel that a little bit more experience from the opposite end of the court may see him get over the line here.
His ranking currently is 128, so you're quite right about taking a dive, but we know what he's capable of. It's not really a good guide, is it? But last year retired in the 2nd round of Wimbledon with a neck injury, so obviously a few years on the circuit are starting to take their toll. We've got Jimmy Wang down the other end, 174. A career high of 85 in comparison, and in very recent times lost to Ryan Harrison in qualifying of the Brisbane International, and also played a very interesting match in the first round of Wimbledon with Oda's neck.
That's right, came back from match point down, didn't he?
Was able to do that. So he's obviously got a bit of grit about him, the man from Chinese Taipei.
What I also like about Jimmy Wang is it's great to see him on court as well, because it's really hard to make that jump from juniors to seniors, and he was a pretty great junior. I mean, he was a former world number 3 in the junior ranks and made the final of the Australian Open Junior tournament and also the US tournament. So he knows how to get to the last match as well.
It's quite right what you say, actually, because we have seen a couple of junior Grand Slam winners over the last 2 days. Someone like Andrew Harris, who's a dual Grand Slam winner in juniors. But it is tough to get into the main draw of a Grand Slam. It's not an easy transition at all. You still have to work for it.
Absolutely. I mean, in that Australian Open final that he did play in juniors, he actually played Janko Tipsarevic, and we see where he has gone and obviously where Jimmy Wang has taken his career. And a little bit different, both of those two players. But again, I'm expecting to see a great fight here by Jimmy Wang.
So we see Jimmy Wang coming towards the end of his preliminaries. Interestingly enough, was born in Saudi Arabia. It's an interesting fact for you. Prize money of $500,000 with 5 challenges and 7 future titles to his name. We're going to take a quick break away from Show Court 3 and just remind you, for those that aren't so familiar with the rules of tennis, a bit of a quick reminder for you.
Tennis is a traditional game with well-established rules. Because of this, it is advised that all players wear clothes. I cannot stress that enough. Clothes are a crucial component of social competition. The rules on attire are pretty broad after that. Comfort is key. Women normally wear skirts, shorts, pants, t-shirts, sports shirts, basically whatever you're comfortable in and whatever doesn't impair movement. While men normally wear shorts, pants, t-shirts or sports shirts, while those leave nothing to the imagination shorts from the 70s are best left at home. So that's it. Don't you look smart? Now you're ready for tennis.
Set advantage. To the left of the chair.
We've already seen some interesting attire today. Anastasia Rodionova sporting those long socks.
Interesting look there.
Right of the chair from France.
Long socks would almost inhibit your movement, but obviously it didn't, because she's one of the only Australians through in qualifying. She won well in straight sets.
Yeah, she was quite impressive. Really played a great all-court game, and her movement was quite good as well. I saw her at the wildcard playoffs, and she was not hampered by injury, which I felt she was at the wildcard playoffs.
And as a young tennis fan in Australia, you would have certainly been rapt to see the performance of Neitha Baines. I thought she was tremendous in that second set. Really gave it to the Czech.
Absolutely. I know she had those 2 set points as well, but then to even just come back and get that last set to a tie-break, it was a great maturity shown by the youngster there.
So a couple of practice serves for Paul-Henri. Jimmy just working out which racket he's going to use. And we'll be underway shortly for this second round men's qualifying match.
Just on that note about the juniors as well, it was that's what you need to find the positives out of when you do happen to lose a match, and there are some great positives for a lot of our junior players, and we can see a lot of attendance here on Show Court 3, and I hope all of our Australian fans are wrapped in the future of Australian tennis, because there are a lot of superstars coming up the ranks.
This is what the qualifying is all about. Great chance to showcase our young Australian talent and talent from all around the world, and we've got the chance to broadcast it thanks to the vision of Tennis Australia. And wherever you're watching around the world, it's 5:30 local time here in Melbourne. Still plenty of action on 12 courts across Melbourne Park. So you might think the Australian Open hasn't started yet. Well, it's well and truly in full swing Melbourne Park at the moment. Paul-Henri Mathieu steps up to the plate, and there's plenty of support in the crowd as well for Jimmy Wang. So a bit of an atmosphere here late in the afternoon. Best of 3 sets.
15 love.
A good way to start. It looks as though Paul-Henri's got plenty of support.
Yeah, it's great to see. Just come after work and head over to Melbourne Park. Free entry, of course, and yeah, the very nice 1-2 punch there by Henri Mathieu.
Wait, please.
What are your thoughts, Sean, on Andrew Harris, who was tremendous yesterday?
Oh, no doubt. Again, we're talking about some superstars coming up the ranks, and I don't know too much about Andrew Harris, but I was really impressed with his match as well.
Part of tennis royalty, and his mother.
I was quite impressed with his start. Such great composure shown by the youngster.
Game, Mathieu.
Well, that's a love game to kick it off. The best part of 1 minute. Paul-Henri Mathieu is on his way. It is 1-love. First set. So, born in Saudi Arabia, representing Chinese Taipei. Such interesting people that we come across in qualifying. Some great fairy tale stories. Wang's been playing for a while, turned pro in 2001 as he receives the balls there.
Jimmy Wang
ready
to
for
serve.
his first service game. Played second round here of the Australian Open back in 2006, so he has been around for a while.
Love 15.
Not the way you want to start your opening service game. Your opponent gets off to a love game and then you start off with a double fault. Not ideal at all.
Jimmy standing at
15
5 feet 10 inches. We didn't know a lot about Vincent Malot yesterday until he walked onto the court, and I was expecting this big Frenchman, but he was 5'8". He's probably the smallest player on the tour almost.
Even I'm taller than that.
Wang just working
30, 50.
into his service game here. Wang's known for one trademark, and that is his white cap, which he hasn't disappointed today.
There's also a famous Australian who
40,
likes to wear
50.
his cap backwards, and what a start to the year Leighton Hewitt has had.
Yeah, you get the impression that it could be a very big tilt at the Australian Open for Leighton Hewitt. And at this time of his career as well, he's got nothing to lose. He's almost gone back to being the underdog, which I think suits him.
Well, just not enough on that second serve from Jimmy Wang.
40, 30.
Right in the hitting zone there for Paul-Henri Mathieu. And here's the contrast as well. Henri Mathieu gets that love service game, and Jimmy Wang's had to work for his.
Deuce.
He has to work a little bit longer, Sean, because it's up to deuce. As we see the skyline of Melbourne, the Melbourne CBD, around 30 degrees today. A bit of cloud cover has taken the heat off, but it's been a really nice day in Melbourne.
Let first service.
Perfect for tennis. Sports capital of Australia.
Advantage Wang.
I think it would almost be the sports capital of the world. What do you think of that, Sean? We've got everything here.
The greatest sporting precinct right next to the CBD.
Game.
Just
Wang.
so many different sports.
A couple of strong serves there from Wang, able to capitalise on that and make it 1 game all. But you're quite right, it took 1 minute for Paul-Henri to take his service game, 5 minutes for Jimmy Wang. But as we have a look at the skyline once again of Melbourne, very cultured city, known for its dining, its shopping, and its sport in particular, containing the envy of tennis tournaments across the globe. Melbourne Park, one of the greatest sporting stadiums in the world, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Not forgetting
15 love.
the greatest, I couldn't say the greatest horse race in the world, but the greatest racing occasion in the Melbourne Cup, the race that stops the nation. The Australian Grand Prix, Formula One. Melbourne to Warrnambool bike race. We have everything here.
Ooh, I like the move. I like Jimmy Wang coming up
30 love.
towards the net to try and give Mathieu just something else to think about, but unfortunately that one just going to the net.
Already a profound contrast in their service games.
30-15.
Paul-Henri's service games, quick to the point, short, sharp points. And Wang having to fight and try and draw out the rallies. And that has landed in. It's a fantastic return from Wang.
Geez, nothing you can do about that. Just a stab and down the line. Here we go, the replay.
That was never missing.
Mathieu is just getting the ball for the next point.
You mentioned Mathieu's injury, played career, and a neck injury for a tennis player.
40,
that's
30.
just almost the worst injury you could have.
Well, you don't want to mess around with those types of injuries. Back or, yeah, neck, where you had to pull out of Wimbledon. So taking the necessary precautions, which is good.
How is he on clay?
Well, obviously, being a Frenchman, they're brought up on clay as juniors. So I feel it's the best surface as a junior to learn your craft, because you need to move around the court and get that bounce, which can be very unpredictable.
Mathieu.
Well, he's able to hold another quick service game, really.
Mathieu
And he
leads
leads
2 games to 1.
2-1 in this second round of men's qualifying, and our sole men's match here on court 3 today.
The men, of course, are getting underway, and we can go out now to court 6, and that is where Rajiv Ram from the USA, the 15th seed, he's having a hard time of it because Blaz Roller from Slovenia is up 5-2 and potentially serving for this game. Well, he'll actually be receiving for the match. So Rajiv Ram, who's certainly a veteran of the tour, the big American, has got lots of work to do, needs to hold serve if he's going to be staying in this encounter. And Ram at the moment is up 40-15. So managing just to buy himself a little bit of breathing space is Rajiv Ram. And managing to get a job done there. So that is now 5-3. But Roller, Blaz Roller, would certainly be considered an upset win there. The third set only taking half an hour so far, 29 minutes. So the men in the second round of qualifying here at the Australian Open are currently on court, and we go back to show court 3.
Ian Cohen, thank you very much. So things on serve. Jimmy Wang for his second service game. Paul-Henri's played 4 clay finals in his ATP career, and he's 2-2. His greatest successes have been on carpet, with 2 victories from 2 matches, 2 finals.
There's a great shot there. Nice forehand by Mathieu.
15 all.
Hitting the line there.
Really cramping up the tall man there.
30-15.
Good serve at the body and easy point for Wang.
Net. First service. (40-15).
198 kilometres an hour. And he really cranked into that one. And
Game.
finishes it
Wang.
off well with a lovely volley. So that was cheaper for him. So we're on serve at all square after 13 minutes. It's 2 games all.
Yeah, it was a great approach shot from Jimmy Wang with that slice forehand. And then as it was sliding away, moving up to the net, great move. I like to see when players move up to the net and show their volleying ability.
A few spectators taking some shots with their mobile phones.
15 love.
Great to see some spectators here. Free entry into Melbourne Park through the qualifying. $10 for adults on Saturday on finals day. But that's in conjunction with the Nickelodeon Kids Day. I'm sure that young lady will be among them. Plenty of Nickelodeon characters, special guests, musical acts. As promised, Ian Cohen singing The Gambler. He'll have the guitar packed. And Roger Federer might even make an appearance. That's on Saturday.
30 love.
You can get all of your tickets via tickettech.com.au for the entire 2 weeks of the main draw of the Australian Open as well.
That
30,
forehand
15.
just sailing long there. Not enough topspin from Mathieu on the forehand. But just $10, you say, to get in and see your favourite Nickelodeon characters. And
Well, that's for adults. Children under 16 free.
oh, I just missed the cutoff.
Do you want me to believe that?
(40-15).
Well, nice placement from the big man. It was there sitting up at him. Just dipped a bit low, but he was able to get to it and put it away beautifully.
Just great footwork shown there. Run around the ball and hit it over the high part of the net.
(40-30).
Nice to see a French flag has been produced in the top corner of the screen there.
Who are they going for, you think?
The man with the ball now.
Game.
And that's
Mathieu.
a big one at 189. So we're still on serve here in this second round men's qualifying.
leads
The
3
score,
games to 2.
3 games to 2.
Everything is, and of course everything is a potential upset here at the Australian Open for qualifiers. We've already seen the number 1 seeds go out in the men's and the women's side, and this is now a replay of the match point that was underway on court 6. There we go, we're up and going now. We might try and get back to it as we watch Paul-Henri Mathieu just siphon some lemon cordial in. Now he's going to change over to the water. But the point I was trying to get to you was the fact that Blaz Roller has taken out his second round encounter with Rajiv Ram from the USA, who's the 15th seed. So another seed bites the dust. As I said earlier today, we had the number 1 women's seed go out, and yesterday, the first match, the number 1 men's seed also bowed out as well. So upsets are a possibility. Anything is a possibility here as we head back to show court 3 and more from the second round encounter there between Paul-Henri Mathieu and Jimmy Wang.
And for those that have just joined our stream for the first time on day 2 of qualifying, and you're wondering about the Australians in the men's qualifying, Andrew Harris from Australia beat Simone Vagnozzi yesterday 6-1, 7-5. He'll be playing tomorrow.
$15 love.
And John Patrick Smith defeated Ben Mitchell as well yesterday 7-5, 6-3. So the 24-year-old from Townsville progresses as well. We had to get an Aussie through because they played each other, JP Smith and Ben Mitchell.
30 love.
And great news to see those 2 Aussies go through to the next round.
$40 love.
Well, the Wang serve there, you see, he doesn't bring his back leg together with his front to, like, what we're seeing is just a lot more leg drive, and that's where that power comes from, and it's quite effective. You can see the 205 at last ace.
$40-15. $40-30.
Just missing the line. It was looking good and then just drifted towards the end.
Game, Wang.
So we remain on serve at 3 games all. Also a part of the men's draw, young Blake Mott, the 17-year-old. He unfortunately was defeated by Lopez from Spain. 6-3, 2-6, 6-2. Luke Saville was in an epic yesterday against Paul Capdeville from Chile, 29th seed from Chile. Luke taking the first set 7-6 in a long first set. Tiebreak went 9-7. Paul Capdeville winning the second set 6-love and then winning the third set 11-9. It went for 3 hours and 1 minute. That was broadcast live here on Australian Open TV.
Love 15.
Don't forget, if you've missed any of the action and you'd like to watch one of the players that we've seen over the last couple of days, you can also stream that on your YouTube channel. In particular, the Luke Saville match, it might take a little bit to download, but it's there for your viewing pleasure. We've also got the Australian Tennis Channel in operation. You can receive tennis lessons with Scott Draper. expert fitness tips and interviews. That's youtube.com/Oz Tennis Channel. Just open a new tab and check out that Australian tennis channel. Took it nice and high and had great control with that volley. Lovely control for a small man.
15-30.
Well, Mathieu is not happy with the previous call, believing it clipped the line and still thinking about it, shaking the head, letting the umpire know he's not happy with that call.
Another very good volley.
15-40.
And this brings up 2 break points. The first real opportunity for Wang to break the Frenchman's serve. He'll be able to sense a real opportunity here after Mathieu's opening service games have been quite academic. Saved.
Great answer there. Very nice serve.
30,
and
40.
moving into the court. That's what he has well behind the baseline. And it's given Jimmy Wang the opportunity to move forward and finish those points off at the net. But this time it was his turn to move forward into the court. Great point.
Game.
Well, a double fault brings up 4-3 for Wang.
New balls, please.
And
Wang
not
leads by 4
a very
games to
good
3.
time to bring up a double fault at all. So it's Wang leading 4-3 as we continue through the opening set here on court 3.
And the men, of course, are in action. We've seen some on show court 3. Conditions now a little bit cloudy. You can see behind me maybe a little bit more overcast. And on court 8, we've got a fairly tight tussle happening there as well. This one, they're just in the middle of sitting down at this stage. It is Martin Fuchsovic's from Hungary against Daniel Evans from Great Britain, who is the 26th seed. And you can see Fuchsovic has just got the ascendancy, 5-4 in this opening set, 25 minutes travel. Nice little crowd in as well. And don't forget, if you are in and around Melbourne Park, get yourself along to one of the courts because you can watch some of our best up-and-comers and some people wanting to make their way in the world of tennis, some local heroes and plenty of internationals as well. So this is Evans from Great Britain, who is going to serve, and he'll be serving to stay in this opening set, trailing 4-5. That's the way it stands on show court 8 as we head back to show court 3.
So we're watching a couple of quality players here. Paul-Henri Mathieu, this man who won the French Open Juniors in 2000, and then his most unfortunate time in his career, I guess, was in 2002 when he lost a 5-setter in the Davis Cup final in 2002. Mikhail Yeu-tzuoo was able to come back from 2 sets down, and so they almost took the Davis Cup, the French team. And
that's right, and Russia got over the top.
Yeah, it was on Paul-Henri's racket. And then injuries have set in. So he's certainly a player with a bit of history. That's in. The off forehand again.
15-all.
It was a super rally by both players, but Mathieu's backhand proving too much for Jimmy Wang. Really needs to answer back after getting broken.
15-30.
Another player to grace this court today is from the Nick Bollettieri School of Tennis. It does make you appreciate the stars of the game when you talk about the transition of the juniors, how difficult it is. This man won his hometown Grand Slam, the French Open in juniors, got to a Davis Cup final in 2002, but hasn't been able to reach the top echelon. Talent gets you a long way.
Just proves how hard the top of the game is. You see the top four, as they like to call them, and how great their careers have been and how hard it's been for other players to try and bridge that gap.
And won't it be interesting to see how that top four perform here starting on Monday? I'm sure there'll be a
30-40.
A little adjustment in the top 10. How will some of the players knocking on the door go? Berdych, Wawrinka,
maybe even Grigor Dimitrov. There's a lot of hype about the youngster.
Ferrer.
David Ferrer, absolutely, making a final at the French Open.
Sit down, please. Thank you.
Will we see some inroads made? Will we see the top four dominate again? And then who will be the surprise packet? There's always one, isn't there? And there's always a 5-set epic. So he's broken back. The Frenchman breaks back and we're all square again at 4 games all. What will this court produce over the 2 weeks of the Australian Open? I'm sure we will have a late night on this court at some point. Show court 3.
No doubt. Get your ground passes, come over to the Australian Open. And you can come over to show court 3. There's always some great matches here on the outdoor courts.
We'll be heading to court 7 in a moment. Our very own Dan Ryan has made his way out there. Imagine the ground pass, great value. You could be here from 9 in the morning and still be here in Garden Square at 11 at night watching the big screen. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. A ground pass is a tremendous way to do it. And there's plenty of matches going on the outdoor courts late into the evening.
Just find a nice spot there, get a few frozen cokes and stay there for most of the day.
So how do you think this is going to play out as we head towards the end of the first set? 4 games all, 15 all. We've had 2 breaks of serve after their serves look so solid for the first 4 games of the match. You don't want to have a go, do you? You're going to sit on the fence.
Well, no, I thought Mathieu was going to get the ascendancy in the first set, but it was Jimmy Wang, but Mathieu has bounced back.
Please. Thank you.
Impressive style, but we are at 4 all. So it's going to be interesting, but I still feel Mathieu will find an answer in this set.
Oh!
Jimmy was just hoping for that ball to drift out.
15-30.
And it's all about taking your opportunities early. Jimmy Wang having that break of serve against Mathieu and couldn't capitalise. And you really need to take your opportunities against a quality player in his opponent, Mathieu.
Thirty all.
That was a great serve down the tee. 182, not his fastest, but great placement there by the Frenchman.
No doubt late 2005, early 2006 was the peak of this man's career. Best ever result at a Masters Series ATP event, knocking out Andy Roddick. 2-2 record in Davis Cup. But then more importantly, 4th round of the Australian Open, as you brought up earlier.
30-40.
So another break point. Gee, those service games were so solid the first 4 games, and now we've had 2 breaks of serve and another break point. What a big point this is for Wang. Could find himself coming out to serve for the set in a moment.
Game one.
And that's the case. Oh, and Mathieu has just thrown the racket. It almost landed in the rubbish bin over there near the umpire's chair. And he was very lucky he didn't get a warning for that. Jimmy Wang leads 5-4 and will come out to serve for the first set in a moment. Let's head now out to court 7. I think the umpire may have just warned Paul-Henri there as well. Let's head out to Dan Ryan on court 7.
Good on you, Matt. Well, there's a really enthralling encounter happening out here on court 7. A battle of 2 baseliners. Really looking forward to seeing how this one goes. Thomas Bellucci, the number 10 seed here, is in a bit of a battle against Martin Fischer, of course, from Austria. Fischer took the first set 6-4. Not much separated the two fellows in that opening set. Both very happy to slug the ball from the back of the court. Not much net play from either player. The second set at the moment, it's 3-2 to Fischer. He's got a break up. He's serving at the moment. So looking like that he may be able to sneak through in a straight sets victory if he can keep this form up. But as I say that, a breakpoint opportunity here for Thomas Bellucci from Brazil. So it's Fischer with the first set 6-4. He's leading on serve here 3-2. And looking to consolidate, but a breakpoint opportunity here for Bellucci. Bellucci, of course, the number 10 seed here in qualifying. But Fischer has been rock solid all day. So Bellucci will get a look at a second serve. And Bellucci has the break, so it's 3 games all here in the second set. We'll keep you updated with all of the action out here on court number 7. Back to you guys on show court number 3.
Dan Ryan, good work. Good little atmosphere here on court 3. We've got the French on the left side of screen and the fans from Chinese Taipei on the right, and they're quite boisterous. As Jimmy Wang took that first point, it's 15-love. We do believe he got a warning as well from the umpire, Paul-Henri, just after that previous game. Oh, yes. Well, that racket almost landed towards the chair of Jimmy Wang, so the umpire didn't like that at all.
Well, it wasn't a Marcos Bagdatis a couple of seasons ago, but still worthy of violation by the umpire.
30-15.
No, Marcos, didn't he go off?
Oh, how many? Was it 5 rackets? Just brought new ones, freshies. Didn't even take it out of the plastic and gave him a whomping. Don't see that every day.
That made many highlights reels around the world on sports broadcasts.
I wonder how many views on YouTube it has.
He's pumped up Jimmy, and now 2 set points.
40-15.
He almost went for the throw of the racket again as well, Paul-Henri. He's in not a good state of mind at the moment. He's got the black cap on now. Not quite a trademark cap that Jimmy wears, the white cap he wears every time. And he takes out the first set. And there are the cheers from the fans from Taipei.
6 games to 4.
It is 6-4, 37 minutes. Jimmy Wang takes the first set here on court 3. Well, that was solid because Paul-Henri Mathieu, the first 2 service games, he whipped through them very quickly. As we have a look at the first set highlights, there was some cheap points for Paul-Henri. In fact, it was a love game, the first service game, wasn't it? And then Jimmy just worked his way in and was able to break the Mathieu serve. It was broken back, but he has remained very consistent, Wang, and he's mixed it up as well, which is important.
Absolutely, and we talked about taking your opportunities, and he definitely did, at least on the second time when he was able to break serve on Mathieu. It was pretty disappointing, I think, from Paul-Henri Mathieu, but at least it gives him the opportunity to start fresh. He'll be serving the start of the second set.
First serve percentage from Mathieu, which is obviously a weapon for him, is pretty ordinary, 50%. And that certainly does tell a tale. Unforced errors similar, winners similar. I reckon it's that first column that is telling the tale of the tape there. Wang takes the first set.
Time.
Good to see the support as well for Jimmy Wang.
This is very interesting at 4-all in that first set, and Jimmy again having the opportunity to break the serve of Mathieu, and it was just great to see him because obviously he got broken himself.
Second set.
So I mentioned earlier, it's very interesting to read how or where these players are from and how they were brought up and where they were brought up, and there's an added dimension now to the life of this man. Paul-Henri having his first child, his son Gabriel, would only be 18 months old at the most. That's an extra challenge when you're on the tour. Challenge either way if the young one is travelling with you or you're away from home for so long.
Can also provide that great balance as well, to have family life mixed in with your professional tennis career, to get away from the pressures that the circuit has.
$15-all.
That 1-2 punch is a weapon for him.
Well, he had it at the start of the first set and then it just went missing, so if he can find it here, it'd be a great way to kickstart this second set.
Net. First service.
Few linesmen will be in the line of fire in the next couple of weeks. Jim disappointed with that.
30-15.
It's a tough gig, isn't it, to be a lines judge?
Especially the one up the middle.
The balls are coming at 200 plus clicks and you got to get out of the way, but
That gentleman was very smooth though.
bit of a matrix style getting out of the way there. Well, there's a catch for someone in the crowd. Oh no, someone just moving away from it.
30-all.
Didn't want to have a bar of it.
Almost ended up in Garden Square. It deflected off the seat. There we go. How's that for camera work?
Look at that.
Thank you.
loose forehand. Very lazy footwork
30-40
there by Mathieu.
A little bit unlucky. Ball certainly flirted with the line there a moment ago. He could have gone either way, but didn't go his way, and now an early break point. Oh, went for the big one down the line. Just didn't curl.
Use.
Thought he was going to go cross-court there, but chose the down-the-line shot. Not the highest percentage. We're back at deuce. Still has a sniff, Jimmy Wang.
Advantage Wang.
Can't do much about that. He was all over it.
Just not expecting that one, Mathieu.
Actually, from about 4 games into the match, Wang's dominated this. It's been one-way traffic.
Let first service.
It has, and a little bit of help as well with some unforced errors, and we were talking before about a bit of lazy footwork as well, so Mathieu has to wake up a bit here.
For a man who has spent so much time on clay, he is quite lethargic on his feet.
And again, that could come down to that injury layoff that he had. Who knows how much effect that has had on him, even though it was a couple of years ago.
Looks can be deceiving too. He's only got 7 centimetres on Wang. He isn't the biggest man in the world. And again, Wang just using the angles and running the Frenchman round the court. And another break point.
Advantage Wang. Game Wang.
Well, he's overcooked that, and this has been a really good display from Wang. He takes the first game of the second set. Took 8 minutes. He leads 1-love. Very shortly on your Australian Open website, you'll be able to open the schedule for tomorrow with a Friday of qualifying. You see some support for Jimmy Wang. Good to see them jumping on the bandwagon. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. He's been playing in great order.
Well, again, the important thing is to consolidate the break, so he has the opportunity to do that now.
He's getting plenty of encouragement. They've come to life.
Well, I think the French crowd as well need to possibly get behind their man and try and spur him on.
Well, they're being very reserved at the moment. That's what they do. Fantastic shot again. Hitting many winners.
15 love.
Just playing a very good brand of tennis at the moment.
You feel he's just opened his shoulders a little bit more. He's just swinging freely at the moment.
Help. 30 love.
Find Paul-Henri is just hitting some very loose shots.
Take a seat quickly, please.
Almost hitting hopes.
Take a seat, please. Thank you.
Umpires have had a devil of a day organising the crowd. Even though the ushers aren't in and the crowds are smaller than usual, you still have to show a bit of tennis etiquette.
30-15.
There's a couple of gentlemen who are following Wang's lead with the caps.
They're not backwards though. They need to turn them around.
$40-15.
He's getting the fist pumps going, isn't he? He's really spurring himself on.
He's just playing a top-notch, consistent brand of tennis at the moment.
$40-30.
And when he misses, he's not missing by much. As you said, Sean, it's not a break until you consolidate it. He's 1 point away.
Game.
Oh, went
Wang.
for it with the double-handed backhand, and it misses. And have a listen to the crowd from Taipei. Jimmy Wang leads 2-love.
2 games, 2-love.
How does the Frenchman get back into this, Sean?
Well, he's just going, I think, for too much too soon. He really just needs to roll the balls back into the court. Not just in the middle, he just needs to move Jimmy Wang around and just find a little bit of form. Move his feet around and try and move forward to the net as well.
I mentioned Vincent Malot from France, who won yesterday, 5'8".
15 love.
Smaller than Jimmy Wang here, who's 5'10". He is actually out on court 9 at the moment in his second round match against Hernich from the Czech Republic, and up 5-3, and is actually looking to take that first set. He's love 40 up at the moment. He's got 3 set points. So Malot going very well, the little Frenchman.
$15
He was saying, what does Paul-Henri Mathieu have to do to get back into this match? I think some first serves as well will really help. If he can get them in the court, 180, 200 Ks an hour, then that's really going to help him out.
30-15.
Like that. Well called. As we see another chopper flying across Melbourne Park. We've seen a few over the last couple of days. Between the helicopters and the regular service to Jolimont, the trains drifting by. There's a fair bit of noise out on court 3. As we mentioned earlier, the media just starting to build up, especially in the media room underneath Rod Laver Arena. Good to see some of the photographers out here. All of the international television broadcasters are getting prepared for Monday as well. Another break opportunity for Wang.
30,
the
40.
studio that our very own Ian Cohen is hosting from. There's another 4 studios above Garden Square, Channel 7, Eurosport, ESPN and Wow. And it's very interesting to see what different outlays they produce. Channel 7 just going for the desk, Eurosport the desk, Wow have got like a big lounge, the Japanese channel.
Deuce.
Eurosport's just gone for the clear glass bench that you could just put a coffee on, maybe like a coffee table.
Yeah, definitely very nice, especially here in the commentary booth. Got a great view of this match, and too old to Jimmy Wang, but deuce on Paul-Henri Mathieu serve.
Good shot.
Advantage,
Needs more of
Mathieu.
them. Double-handed backhand down the line. It was there to be hit, and he sent it down with interest.
Great confidence booster there, I think, for Paul-Henri Mathieu.
Tried it again. So getting later in the day here in Melbourne, 25 minutes past 6 local time. Coming to the net again, Jimmy Wang, and he really does put the pressure on when he does that. He's so comfortable there. And now another
Wang.
break point, and this is starting to...
Well, we know he likes to come to the net, Jimmy Wang, and that was a great reflex backhand volley. Good hands shown by the man from Chinese Taipei.
Game. Wang.
He's done it. So Jimmy Wang is well and truly on his way. After 17
Wang
minutes
leads
in the
3
second
games,
set,
2-love.
he leads 3-love.
And out at court 7, continues to be an arm wrestle out there where Thomas Bellucci, who is a seeded player here at the Australian Open qualifying, seeded number 10, has fought his way back into this contest against Martin Fischer of Austria. That was set point just a few moments ago, and Bellucci managed to get it done. So he lost the first one 4-6, but he won the second set 6-3. So Thomas Bellucci and Martin Fischer will go to a third set. Let's have a look at some of the stats. For Fischer, well, first serve's been going in really well. A couple of aces more for Bellucci. The unforced errors, Bellucci's had plenty of those. And in the end, the total points won. Bellucci's won more, but it is tied up at a set apiece. So 4-6 and also 6-3. Let's get to 8 because that's where Martin Fucsovics from Hungary is receiving for the match against Daniel Evans of Great Britain. Now, Fucsovics took the first set 6-4. You can see the score there. 27 minutes. They whipped through that. Now all of a sudden he is up 5-love and he's receiving. Evans serving, and Evans really chasing his tail, although he looked just to have levelled it up there at 30-all. We might stay with this for a moment because we might see another seed bounced out of Australian Open qualifying with Daniel Evans of Great Britain, the 26th seed. Some hard work ahead against Martin Fucsovics of Hungary. And Fucsovics is just ambling across the court there, so Evans might get a chance to hold serve here, and then maybe the big Hungarian can come out and clean it up and win it in 2 straight sets. So we'll wait on this. This is game point. Fucsovics charged into the net there, but to no avail. So Evans holds 5-1 though down. He is the man from Great Britain, and that is a half an hour in progress. So that's not far away from Martin Fucsovics. Let's head back to show court 3, and here's your man, Matt Hill.
Thank you very much, Ian Cohen. Well, this man has the wind in his sails. Jimmy Wang, 3-love up, 15-love. And we haven't even been going an hour, but he's well and truly on his way to winning this.
13-love.
Well, Mathieu's taken the cap off, and it looks like he's pretty disinterested at the moment. He's just a few unforced errors now.
Well, the cap didn't last very long. It only took him 2 or 3 games, and he disposed of his black cap.
Love.
And this is a very quick service game. Isn't it amazing? The first part of this match, Jimmy took a couple of long service games to fight his way through, and now he's whipping through them.
Game Wang.
Is absolutely flying. 4-love. That was the quickest service game you'll ever see.
Wang leads 4 games to love.
That's what I love about this game. He was saying in the first set that we thought Paul-Henri Mathieu was doing so well on serve, but it just takes a couple of points and all of a sudden the momentum changed. And Jimmy Wang looking very good. 6-4, 4-love in this second set.
Yeah. The blink of an eye, this Frenchman is in trouble. Big
Love
trouble.
50.
Well, it's going to take something special for him to get out of this sticky situation.
$15 all.
It's a sticky situation, all right. He's in quicksand. Jimmy's facial expressions haven't changed all that much over an hour. A few fist pumps, as you said. But he looks in control.
30-15.
That slice return just overcooked a shade. There's some happy fans, part of the Wang brigade. This is a little bit more proficient from Mathieu.
40-15.
The 1-2 punch saved him, really.
Again, the well-placed serve into that corner. And the defensive backhand not enough on Jimmy Wang. Easy put away there for Paul-Henri Mathieu.
$40-30.
It's just been very loose, hasn't it? Another double fault.
Well, it's all or nothing, isn't it? He's just really going for that second serve.
No, Jimmy's not going to be happy unless this is 6-love.
And that's what I really want to see from Jimmy Wang. He's got his opponent on the ropes. Make sure he doesn't get any sniff in this set now. Really close it out.
Better news on court 9 for the French. Milo won the first set 6-3 against Hernich from the Czech Republic. He leads 2-love in the second set. So the pocket rocket, Vincent Milo from France, well on his way to being here on Saturday for the 3rd round of qualifying.
Well, at least there is some good news there for the French crowd here.
Advantage, Mathieu.
Oh, good work from Mathieu, from the big man. He was able to get down to that and keep the ball in. But he still has a mountain to climb. Jimmy Wang leads 4-1.
Now we can go out to court 8. We saw just a couple of moments ago Martin Fucsovics of Hungary, and he is serving for the match here, and that was enough to get it done The big man in the yellow shirt closest to your screen, absolutely annihilating in the end Daniel Evans from Great Britain, the 26th seed, bowing out 6-4 and also 6-1. The first serve percentage is important for the big fellas. 67% of first serves getting in, resulting in 5 aces to 1. Winners, he had 16 to 9. Unforced errors, 17. But the Brit had 30 unforced errors. So that's not necessarily a game Daniel Evans will look back on fondly. And in the end, the 26th seed has been bounced out by Martin Fuskovic of Hungary. And he progresses through to the finals of the qualifying here at the Australian Open. How's my man Jimmy Wang going on show court 3? Matt?
Oh, one word for that, Koza. He is flying. And only a couple of games away to progressing to the second round.
You're off?
Yeah.
So here he is, the 28-year-old. He leads 4-1.
Sit down, please.
He has been
Love 15.
quite a name in Taipei sport. He was the highest ranked tennis player until the emergence of Liu Yan-shun. In his earlier
Love
days,
30.
he performed extremely well in Asian games and also the East Asian games, which are big events. So we love the Commonwealth Games in this part of the world, but the Asian Games, as far as size and popularity, second biggest behind an Olympic Games, and he performed very well in those back 8 years ago. Been pro for a long time.
15-30.
Been a pro, as I mentioned, since 2001. Just a little bit of service pressure here. 15-30. I guess it doesn't matter what sport you play or whatever you do for a profession and whatever country you come from, to be the best at it for years on end. You've got to get a pat on the back for that. So 30 all.
30 all.
It's another Wang fan enjoying his day at the tennis. Good to see the youngsters here today.
(40-30).
178 kilometres an hour. He put a bit of oomph into that.
Yeah, he didn't start this game too well, did he? But 3 points in a row, capped off there by an ace. Chance to go 5-1 in this deciding set.
Juice.
There you go, great backhand there by Paul-Henri Mathieu. Again over the high part of the net.
I note there's been an updated forecast for Tuesday's weather here in Melbourne as well. It was 39 degrees initially. The Bureau have changed that. Wait for it. Try 41.
41. My goodness.
Advantage Wang.
33 tomorrow, 25 on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 34 for the first day, Monday, 41 on Tuesday. So if you're coming to the tennis, bring your hats, sunscreen, towels, look after yourself, and plenty of water.
Juice.
Well, the Frenchman's not going to lose this game without a fight. The lovely return down the line.
Just use the pace of the serve there. 194k, and just all he had to do was block it back. It was great reflex there by the Frenchman.
Giving himself some encouragement.
Advantage, Wang.
Good shot. Dipping, double-handed backhand that had the Frenchman arching the back and couldn't dig it from his shoelaces. And now they come to life in the terraces.
Wang leads 5 games to 1.
Right, it was a smart shot. Didn't have to use too much pace. Just really rolled over the ball with that left hand. That's why it's great to have a double-handed backhand. It's definitely a safer shot. Got it at the shoelaces, as you said, Matt. Now, Paul-Henri Mathieu serving to stay in this match. Well, Matt, you were saying 41 degrees, and that's just the normal temperature. That doesn't actually show the on-court temperature. Just imagine what that is going to be. It's going to be very grueling for the players, isn't it?
Underfoot, it's so arduous, isn't it, on these courts? Especially on days like that. Well, that's an absolute gift for Wang.
I've seen some of the athletes get very physically ill on court when temperatures reach those high 40s.
Yes, of course the Frenchman Simon and
30-15
played that extraordinary match on high sense on the first Saturday night here last year. They played each other into submission. They were both physically injured, and the fourth set was just human theatre at its absolute best. It was also quite brutal to watch at times. So 30 all. Wang is 2 points away. It certainly hasn't been brutal for Wang. It's been proficient, solid, consistent. Pretty impressive.
And
now, with that shot going over the baseline, we have a match point, a break point, but more importantly, a match point for Jimmy Wang. The 1-2 punch, he lives off that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, do you think we could see a comeback here?
Well, after the matches we see in qualifying, I don't think you can make too many predictions in this Certainly a mountain to climb, though.
Advantage, Wang.
That's landed in. I'd like to have another look at that. It seemed to be sailing long, but there was no call. So now 2 match points.
Well, there was no objection from
No, there wasn't either. You're quite right. He just let it run, which would tend to suggest, you used the word disinterested moments ago. He just let it sail out, didn't protest at all. But we're back to deuce. That's all forgotten now. With that serve at 183 kilometres, setting it up. That clumsy double-handed backhand brings up a third match point for Wang, who's got so much room to move here, being 5-1 up.
Game, set
It's third time lucky, but it was presented to him on a platter with a double fault.
6-1.
The fans cheer for Jimmy Wang from Taipei. He wins in straight sets, 6-4, 6-1. And he salutes the crowd. The Taipei flag is waving proudly on both sides of court 3. That was good.
Yeah, and I think that last point just summed it up for Paul-Henri Mathieu. Just the double fault there, just too many errors from the Frenchman. And that's pretty much where we have the highlights here. Jimmy Wang didn't, I mean, he played a great match. Like he was saying, he was very consistent, but also just given some gifts from Paul-Henri Mathieu.
In the first set, the first couple of service games were easy service games for Mathieu, and Wang had to fight for them a little bit harder, but then the cracks started to show, and Mathieu started to really loosen up with some errant balls, and Wang stayed solid. He got to the net when he could, and he was very good at the net, really putting the pressure on the Frenchman, and he had no answer when Wang came to the net, but his ground strokes were excellent as well. On that particular occasion, that dipping backhand that did the trick. And then a double fault, giving Jimmy Wang the match. The final score, 6-4, 6-1. And the match summary, well, the first serve percentage, I think, was 50% for Henri Mathieu in the first set, 50% for the whole match. And look at those unforced errors. They always tell the tale, don't they? 31.
Yeah. 31 unforced errors. It just doesn't cut it at the top level. And, I mean, Paul-Henri Mathieu knows what it takes, but it just, it just wasn't good enough today for the Frenchman.
Sean Monowera in commentary with me. It's been a pleasure. So it's been an entertaining day again.